Here's how you make some wicked easy wheat bread in 5 minutes. That's nice and airy on the inside and crunchy on the outside. We got ourselves a bowl. If you're using a scale, you're gonna put a bowl on top of the scale, then turn it on. That makes sure that it's at 0. And you're gonna measure out 240 grams of flour. We also need 240 grams of whole wheat flour. If you're not using a scale, you're gonna use 1.5 cups of each. Even though the recipe calls for 2 cups, we're gonna start with 1.5 because we can always add more flour instead of having to compensate for too much flour. 2 teaspoons of salt because we love flavor. And 3/4 teaspoon yeast. Since I'm using instant yeast, I get to dump everything in and keep going to the next step. If you're using active dry, you're gonna take 2 cups of water, heat it up to 110 degrees Fahrenheit, dump your yeast in, give it a little swivel, and wait 5 minutes until you smell beer. But since I'm using instant yeast, I'm just dumping the room temperature water in with the flour. Got myself a cute wooden spoon, and we're gonna stir this 20 times. This may look like nightmare fuel, but you're actually doing great. I can still see a few bits and bobs of dry flour, so I'm gonna give it 5 to 10 more stirs, just making sure that all of the flour kind of gets incorporated. If you need to release some emotional steam, might I suggest stabby. Now our friend looks like cookie dough batter, and that is great. She's not goopy, but she's definitely not holding her shape. If you started with 3 cups and it's still kind of goopy / fluid, add that last cup in, stir it in 20 times, you're good to go. Cover, which helps keep things moist and not dried out. We're gonna let her sit somewhere for 12 to 18 hours that's not cold. Now you're gonna set your oven to 475 with the Dutch oven inside to preheat together. Whoa. She's bubbly, she's kind of gooey, and she's perfect in every way. And go around the bowl and just quickly push her down like that. It's okay if it sticks a little. Yay. Get yourself a clean surface, immediately hit it with kitchen lube. We're gonna go around the bowl again, and we're just going to keep pulling her away from the edge because all of a sudden you're gonna say, hey, that looks like a dough ball. She's going to exit her home. Now, hands that have been floured, I'm going to pull the sides into the middle. It's okay if it's very wet, but as we have the flour on the outside, that helps keep it from sticking. Now I'm gonna flip her. I've got flour on my hands and I'm just going to scoop her from the side and drop her straight onto the parchment. Now I'm gonna add a little more flour to the top. The flour is mostly for our eyeballs. It doesn't change the flavor, but it does give it a really nice finish. Cover her with a bowl and let her sit for 30 minutes while the oven comes to temperature and the Dutch oven gets super piping hot. If you don't have a Dutch oven, you can use a cast iron skillet or a pan, and then you're going to put a tray of water into the oven with your dough. Super hot. Use gloves. Open. Reveal. Carry and plop. Make a hole on the top to release the steam. Put in oven for 30 minutes. Oh, after 30 minutes, she's looking nice. Back in, uncovered for 15. Isn't she cute? Check the bottom, give her a tap. Sounds hollow. Great.